Hello, 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 everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Oh, it's nice to see everybody in here. Oh, Fancy, first one in. God bless you. Ronald Wilson, second. Creepy Pasta. Much love to you. Um, oh, hello, White Window Baby. Absolutely. No summer, no peace. She says, much love. Hello, family. Absolutely. Um, Southern Gal says, hello, everybody. Hello to you, sweetie. Pink Butterfly says, hey. Hello to everyone. Mummy is 6 says, hello, PG in chat. Much love. Much love to you, sweetie. There's Angel. Hello, PG mods in chat. Much love. Much love to you, girl. Let It Be says, hello, all, and God bless. Much love. Much love to you. Hello, Texas gal. Much love. Hello, everyone. Hello to you, sweetie. Oh, thank you. She says, PG, much love. Hope you're having a good evening. I hope you're having a good evening as well, sweetheart. Absolutely. English Rose says, hello, PG mods in chat. Hello to you. As every night, I put the link in the chat so that whoever would like to come up, you are so more than welcome to take the link and come on up. Hello, Brenda. I know summer, no peace. No summer, no absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Ronald Wilson says, English Rose, how are you doing tonight, my friend? Christian says, hi, Angel. White Window Baby says, Ronald, of course, so glad to see you tonight. Prayers and much love. Aw, that's so sweet. That is super sweet. But thank you for that, White Window Baby. Yeah, I had to sit last night. If you go more than 6 hours, they don't let you fix it. So, and there was some words, there's like key words we're not allowed to use when we're talking about some things you have to say SA. You can't use any other words when you're talking, and so yeah, I was upset about that as well. Oh, thank you, White Window Baby. She says, I love you, PG. I hope you have had a blessed day. Much love and prayers. Thank you. I hope you had a blessed day as well, sweetheart. Absolutely. And yes, I did have a very blessed day. Um, PG is so doing good today. I actually was able to catch some sleep. Much needed sleep. Yeah, I agree, Pink Butterfly. I think it's about to hit the fan soon as well. Absolutely. I fully on board with that one. And so I guess they read Donald his rights in jail about 7 days ago. And from what I'm understanding, I would say it was, I say it was about 5 days ago. It must have been on the 28th, on a Monday. They must have went in and read him his rights. Yes. And so for the case in Utah, um, is my understanding. And I guess it's a very large case, right? Like seven claims against him. So that's not good. You mean is Candace divorcing Dawn? Trisha says, I'm confused. Is BS divorcing Dawn and is getting engaged? I don't know who BS would be. Candace is the one married to Dawn, right? Or are we speaking of another Dawn? Oh, okay. Lori, it was the 21st then. All right, because I heard him say 7 or 8 days ago. Yeah, seven people other than Mary and Jeannie, right? That's unbelievable. Donald must have been really staying busy, right? Becky, I think you're right. I truly believe that you're right about the I think somebody's about to get prosecuted in this case, absolutely. I don't think Candace is divorcing anyone. I don't think she's going anywhere other than possibly to jail. And if that's who they're talking about. and like she has been running all over the place trying to get a date right. So she obviously don't have a date. So you can't be engaged if you don't have a date. She can't even get somebody. She can't talk anyone to come up there. Um, this case is really messed up. Yes, I mean you have two parents that wow, just their criminal records are long as your arm and just keeps getting longer, right? I agree, Mama Linus. Absolutely. She says all three should have charges on them, in my opinion. Why do they get a free ticket when they allowed it to happen and to continue to happen because they didn't do anything about it? I think some people in child services should be locked up. I think if child service workers don't do their job and something like this happens, whoever the caseworker is should have to do a little time as well, right? Initiate them to do their job a little better. I think Don's going to end up. I don't think they can attach to like your. I don't think they can like attach to his personal home and what he needs to survive himself. But I do think they will be able to attach to the land around him that he owns and possibly sell it off and they'll probably be able to sell that off. He'll probably end up with like 1 acre and the rest to be sold off for restitution for the victims. And that's usually what happens. It depends on how much restitution the court, awards the victims, and then they'll garnish his wages once he gets out and back to working. His wages will be garnished and to pay whatever the remaining. That's if the land don't bring enough. But that land up there is going. I mean, it used to go for nothing, but it's actually fetching a pretty good amount of money now, right? Um, I'm not going to I'm not going to say bad about Don's biological dad, Mama Lions. I ain't going to say that about the man. I think Donald's biological dad felt guilty a little about, the fact that because it was Donald's dad that actually, married the other woman. And Donald's mother was locked away in an institution. That is true. And I think the dad felt bad. Donald's mother got out of the institution, remarried. She got her kids back, and Donald and the two sisters. And I think the stepdad abused them a lot. and actually Donald had a few stepdads. The last one that his mother was married to, I don't think he was such a bad man, but I think the other stepdads were pretty heinous, or else Donald's mother would have stayed with them, um, and probably pretty abusive. So I think Donald's dad just felt really guilty over everything, and kind of just felt that his way of making up everything to Donald and his sisters or whatever was to just give them everything they wanted, and stand behind them no matter what, as a lot of parents will do. Yeah, she can't just have one date. Yeah, Candace is just trying to make people think she's against Donald in order um to gain support, as in financial support. The financial support for Candace is dwindling down. Um, Actually, almost everyone has turned on Candace and Donald and so forth now. They're not. Nobody's willing to throw everybody else under the bus while supporting the Wells whatsoever anymore. She's got very, very few supporters, put it that way. Even Benny has threw Candace under the bus as well, and but she threw him under the bus first, right? And Tim Mullins, yeah, Tim Mullins is playing a big role in all of this. Absolutely, that guy is creepy. I think if somebody followed Tim Mullins around for a while, he probably would be locked up. To be perfectly honest with you, I think he's a real creeper and probably does some shady things. Some really shady things when people ain't looking. I don't like the way he likes to go on his walks and try to find secluded homes, and yeah, he is a creeper. No doubt in my mind on that one. Don told his lawyer, I feel for you. However, they have to sell off that land. They probably will end up selling it off around the house. I mean, that's what happens when people put judgments against you. If you own anything, they will attach to it, and you will end up losing it. Good Fortune says, according to my grandmother, back in the day, they did not speak of anything like that. And if brought up, you were in trouble. So pretty messed up in those days. Yeah, absolutely. In those days, women and children were both pretty much um, were to be seen and not heard, right? I mean, it was supposedly a man's world, and Um, yeah, I don't quite like I don't quite like the yeah, she's constantly putting Don's dad on the deathbed, right? She put him on the deathbed about 7 months ago. There's no expiration date on the bottom of that man's foot, or anybody else's foot for that matter, right? I mean, if God wants him to give him some more days on this earth, he'll give him some more days. And if he, feels that it's best for that man to be, taken and out of all of this and to rest, that will happen too, right? Um, Pretty much. Uh, it depends on how the boys are raised, Trisha. If the boys are raised righteously, if they get in a good home and actually stay there, and the people really like them, care about them, raise them righteously, they will break the cycle. If they are raised, in foster care, shipped from home to home, and abused within the foster care system, as a lot of children are, it's hard telling what will turn out with the boys. Um, Humans are cruel, right? Even though the boys had nothing to do with it whatsoever. You know, you have these people that always say, "Oh, the apple don't fall far from the tree." You know, um, I think those kind of people that say stuff like that must have hit the ground fucking twice, right? And they didn't fall far from their tree as well. Um, if Don indeed did what these 7 victims are saying he done, then that's, and Don knows whether he did what they're saying he done or not. And if he did indeed do it, then absolutely he should be held responsible for what he done. Mary's mother should have, yes, Mary's mother should have protected her children. She very much had knowledge of what was going on, because Donald's dad told her he would divorce her if she did anything to his son. And she chose to turn a blind eye. And in my book, she's more guilty than Donald and his dad, because it was her job as a parent to protect her daughters and her family, right? So I'm shocked that charges won't come upon her for failing to protect her children. And charges still possibly could be felt upon her through the state. And they could end up taking whatever her and her husband owned, um, for allowing that kind of abuse to go on, with knowledge. Absolutely. Um, I don't think Don's dad had knowledge that those stepdads were abusing them kids the way they were abusing them. That's the thing back in the day. And back in the day, also, children were not believed. I mean, um, you know, children were, children were, you had some really warped minded adults back in the day. I mean, you know, not to be mean or anything, but these people were very selfish and warped minded um, humans. And they thought, they did not believe children. And even if they did believe them, they wanted them to shut up. Back in the day, adults worried more about what the neighbors and everybody else around them was going to think than they did about what was going on and bringing it out into the open and, and pulling it to the light and destroying the evilness, which in today's world is just as bad. Um, you know, Today you try to pull things out into the light, and you have a lot of people, today it's just a different type of. Back then, those people were strong-minded, strong. They had strong backs, strong minds, and kind of shut down evil ways. I would say, um, they just, you know, didn't want to fool with it. Keep your mouth shut. I don't want to fool with this. Um, you're not going to come out and embarrass the family, embarrass everybody. We ain't going to have that stigma put upon us. Things like that back in the day, But today, people just like, instead of, um, they're just like, I can't handle it, you know. Um, it's too much for me. And, like today, people are actually weak and pulling it to the light and handling it. So a lot of things, you know, people get away with stuff as well today. And then you got our justice system that, and even, I guess from the beginning of time, our justice system has really been messed up when it comes to children. Children always get the blunt end of the stick, right? They always have gotten cruelly abused. If they came out to tell something, they just seem to get attacked. And even by the justice system didn't want to hear it. They don't want to, listen to it. And I mean, they even had it for so long that a child's voice don't even hold up in court, right? A child couldn't even testify. Yeah, they could get charged if there's proof. If indeed she did go to the police department and able to get a hold of that record where she said her and some others went to the police station, if that is still there, um, as reference to that kind of thing going on, um, it will make this, it will hold water and make the case a little stronger, right? If indeed they can find that record. And the 80s was the 50s. The 80s was the 50s. Those parents raising them kids during the 80s was from the 50s, most of them. I mean, the 80s was not far-fetched from the 50s. In the 80s, the kids were still running around outside, loose. parents in the 80s. You had middle school kids right after grade school. I mean, grade school was hard enough in the 70s and 80s, right? I mean, I wasn't there, but um, in the 70s. Uh, but if you look at pictures like um, history, you go back and look at history, the children are, sitting in their chairs, they're out on the playgrounds. I don't think they had changed much. Schooling didn't really change until I'd say I say probably not until the around 2000s. I say after in the 2000s, um, early 2000s, I would say that the schooling system kind of changed, where they only had lunchtime recess. The kids stayed inside the school all day. Like grade schools quit having the two resets, morning recess, afternoon recess, lunchtime recess. They kind of, they quit setting the kids free. Like bell rings, everybody out of the building, kids all over the school ground 3 times a day. Um, it kind of there in the 2000s, after the 2000s, somewhere they started just having the kids have lunch at lunchtime, and they kept the children inside the school all morning. They had lunch. They got to go outside a little while during that and then come back in and stayed in the school all evening, right? And middle school changed up as well. They started moving, they changed the middle school from sixth to sixth, seventh, and eighth grade from seventh, eighth, and ninth grade, right? So what they did is they took the older children that once was mixed in with the middle school children that was causing most of the problem for the, cutting and staying outside and juvenile delinquency, basically. They went ahead and shipped them to high school. And they also started locking all the doors. The kids wasn't allowed to freely go in and out the doors of school any longer. Um, a lot changed since the 80s. And hell, wouldn't Donald have? I don't know, but wouldn't he have went to school? He's pretty old, so he would have went to school like in the 70s. Wouldn't they have been more? That family would have been more into the 70s, maybe 80s. I don't know, but I would say more into the late 60s and 70s, right? I'm not for sure. Um, back in the 70s and 80s, it was just as bad as the 50s. You still had the, cars up on cinder blocks. You know, um, your really poor, underprivileged neighborhoods. You had the school system, doors were still all open, kids cutting. Um, a lot of problems. A lot of problems. I mean, middle schools was full of drug paraphernalia, right? And I mean, as soon as your child got out of elementary school into middle school, um, they were getting tainted by um, the wrong people, the wrong type of kids, and kids that try to go to school during that time. Kids that try to go to school, the really smart ones that actually was trying to learn and trying to do something with their life, and trying to be decent. Those were the kids that were getting abused and picked on and beat up on their way home from school. I mean, the Donald Wells were the ones, picking on these kids, to the fact that, it caused them to have issues later in life as well, right? They got really bullied. What I'm saying, bullying was crazy back then. I'm bringing you up, Wisconsin Mama. How you doing tonight?
Tired.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah, I'm pretty beat tonight. Um, tough, tough subject to talk about.
Yeah, actually, it is. Because it is because you got a lot of people. A lot of people that um, they lived in that time and era, and they know what they went through. They knew about the bullying. They knew about the you know um
Yeah,
like SA was really bad back then. By
yeah,
stepdads, even dads, even grandparents. SA was SA was running rampant back then.
yeah,
And there was, and most young ladies lost their, you know, selves in middle school, right? I mean,
yeah,
they didn't even get to high school. Most of them, way before they got to high school, they already was, you know, engaging in the wrong type of activities, right? A
yep,
lot of them pregnant, I mean, the 70s and 80s and 90s was really bad for children out of wedlock
yeah,
as well.
yeah, yeah. A lot of them back then, you know.
And they had a lot of the Don Wells that, there was tons of guys like Donald Wells and them that, you know, gave girls a bunch of kids. A lot of girls had a bunch of kids, different men, um, coming in and out, and even if they got with a guy, he was laying around the house, living off the welfare more than he was working, and
Yeah,
it was just a bum ass life, right?
yeah,
And that's how it was going. I mean, the only ones really, very few, um, very few men were going to work every day, coming home and paying the bills and keeping, everything going. Very few men
yeah.
were doing that, and so
I I didn't realize there were 7 women.
oh, I heard about six. I didn't know about the seventh either.
Maybe it was
N-
6, but I thought it was 7. You
It
know,
is it is seven now.
yeah,
It's definitely seven now. So
yeah, yeah. Piece of shit.
yeah, and this is um it is a this is a really hard case, with the SA all mixed up in the equation. Um, it's not good. It's not good at all. I mean, I feel that you know this this case was about Summer. Summer came up missing. She came up missing. She came up gone. Um, you know, she's the one that needed to be focused on, found, brought home, justice gotten for. And I feel like, um, I feel like that this essay case in Utah kind of took the focus off of Summer in the most crucial hours that that were needed for it to be upon Summer, and not that.
Yeah, yeah,
And that
yeah.
and that
Um,
is what Don Wells wanted to. And that's what Don Wells wanted to keep out in the forefront. I mean, and that was a super big red flag. I mean, that was a real big flag that should have been um, recognized early on. I mean, that was one of them things that should have been jumped on ASAP. Someone should have said, "Hey, why would you rather talk about something so incriminating to you as a human being?" I mean, that's like the damn nastiest, worst thing you could ever have upon you, and you would rather focus on that than pulling your daughter forth and talking of her. What the hell?
yeah, I don't understand.
Whatever, yeah, whatever happened to Summer? What I'm saying is, it must be a lot worse. He must have thought that was nothing compared to. He was scared to put Summer forth. He'd
Right,
rather have that in front than Summer, and that was right there, um, telling us something really bad. He was way more scared of Summer's case than he was of that case in Utah.
right,
That's what I'm saying.
right. Well, and I mean, like, they still don't say her name. You know,
N- No, no.
Candace don't say her name.
I've
I
took note
mean,
that a lot of people, even some creators, don't say Summer's name. They
right.
act like it's taboo
Yeah,
to speak her name, and I
yeah,
don't understand that as well.
yeah. Yeah,
But you know, I don't understand. I really do not understand. Why people didn't catch on to Donald's. You know, um.
oh, his game?
Well,
His narcissistic? I
I
mean,
don't understand why they didn't catch on to the fact that, one of the things a man wouldn't want labeled upon him ever was his main focus for people to focus on instead of his daughter. I mean,
right.
you know, it wasn't
Well, yeah,
really
and the
Mary. It wasn't really Mary and her. I know a lot of people got mad at Mary and her sister and them, and for bringing that out during the prime part of this case. But it wasn't Mary and them you know that was keeping the focus on it. It was Donald. Donald was the one that wanted to keep that running and being the main focus by calling Mary up and talking about it constantly and bringing it out, and because he
right.
didn't want to talk about Summer. He would rather talk about something as shameful as that than his daughter.
Yeah. Well,
And
he was running the story.
right,
He was the reporter.
exactly. And but Mary and them caught a bunch of flack off of that, and you know um they got the backlash of it instead of Donald.
But of course, because that's what happens. I mean, any women that say that they're SA, that happened to them, it it always happens that way. It's always the woman that gets the backlash. You know, it's always the woman or it's always, people say, no, that didn't happen to you. No, that couldn't have happened to you. You
Right.
know, and the man just like, yep, It didn't happen. And people believe, I don't know, I'm just saying, I just feel like people believe men more than they believe when women
Women,
tell them that it happened,
right?
you know.
Absolutely. And and even if people believe that it happened, they look at you like, what did you do to deserve it?
There you go.
You know,
Yeah.
what what did you do to deserve it? The way you're dressing, or I mean, you had to do something just because you're female.
Yeah.
It's like you asked for it,
Yeah.
um, just like a child. Children that report abuse, well, what did you do? Was you running your mouth? Was you doing? I mean, I've seen children report things to teachers, and the teacher literally ask that child, "Well, what did you do? You
Oh,
must have
yeah.
done something, or your mom, or your parents wouldn't have beat you like that." You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and it's like their mind can't comprehend that there's just evil motherfucking human beings that do shit for no reason at all. It's like, these teachers are supposed to be the most educated humans, right? They're supposed to be the ones, they're the ones that's supposed to be instilling knowledge into into our children, right? These
Yeah.
teachers are the ones that are supposed to be instilling the knowledge into our children. Yet these teachers cannot comprehend themselves, they cannot comprehend themselves that there are a lot of parents that are sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissists. They got mental issues. They rechannel their aggression. These children are doing nothing to deserve the fucking abuse they're getting at home. And these are the people supposed to be teaching our children, telling our children that, oh, must have done something to deserve to get abused like that, right?
Right. Right.
No. I mean, I don't think it's a smart idea to have people like that, you know, that um teaching our kids.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is um you can have all the education in the world, but if you ain't got some damn common everyday sense, you're worthless in my book. You're
And a
just
heart.
worthless, you know?
I mean, you got to have a heart too. You got to
Absolutely.
have compassion for that child, you know.
Yeah, that's true as well. And
And
I have actually seen teachers that, I have seen teachers that single out children and just
oh,
literally
yeah.
hate on them. I mean, they single them out, and maybe the way they look, or the way they dress, or maybe they don't like their parents or
Mhm.
something, but they single these kids out, and maybe it's the kid that they were jealous of when they were a child at school, looks like the kid, or somebody that bullied them. But anyway, they will single children out and just be mean as hell to that child. And um, if other teachers around them, if they can get them in a clique, they would try to talk those people into being abusive to the child as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And when they get into the conversation, and they may not do it on purpose, but they start the conversation, and that teacher talks to the other teacher, and then it just rubs
Right.
off on the other teacher, and there you go.
Hmm. And
Right
then
down
this
the
child,
line.
right. And
Yeah.
then this child is not only being abused by this one teacher, but now it has other people, other adults in the school treating it like shit too because of that teacher and that
Right.
teacher's way of thinking about that child,
Yeah.
you know. And it's a horrible thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Priscilla Wells. You could not pay me enough to be a teacher. Being a parent is hard enough. I could not do being a teacher. No. But the same with Don. I mean, he did from day one. His narrative was to keep the story off in summer. And so you know what? That
Sorry,
bastard deserves everything that he gets, because he's the one that kept the narrative off in summer and onto other stories. And so all he did was bury his own ass.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, Donald and Candace Wells. thought by keeping the narrative off of their daughter, they thought by keeping the narrative off of their daughter that it was going to, that was going to help them out. But now what they don't understand is um, they'd have been much, much, much smarter had they kept the focus on their daughter
Yeah.
100%, you know, and screaming that shit ain't getting done, that more needs to be done. And they're doing all they can do to get it done. But
Yeah.
no, you know, and normal parents, with the normal situation would have done that. And that's another tells us that this ain't a normal situation, right?
Right.
I mean,
So they're saying out there in Utah, his family, they're saying that they didn't know Don had children until what? Until what year?
they're trying to say they didn't know that he really had children until well, they're trying to say they didn't know he had Summer until Summer came up missing. They're trying to say even when he had Josie out there that they had no idea he had a daughter.
I I I know. You think that Josie would have said something about his sister and the whole time they were out there.
Um, I don't know. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know
I,
how
yeah.
much Josie might have talked due to the fact that Donald, due to the fact that and I don't think that Mary really went over there and tried to talk to Josie anyway. To be honest, you know, I think Mary had her life, I think Mary was, and I think that family was the normal. We got our life, we live our life. She might have showed up to see her mom or whatever. Oh well, Donald's kids here, yeah, and went on back out the door, type of thing. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think she ever thought that it was going to end up being where it's at now. And I don't think if Summer would have came up missing, I don't think we would have ever heard anything about the SA, and they would have been nothing in Utah right now as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree there.
I mean, if you wasn't going to do anything all those years, why all of a sudden do it? That didn't make no sense either.
No. 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 And and I do. I feel sorry for teachers, because that's why I wouldn't want to be one, because there's so many mixed emotions in being a teacher. You don't know if when you see it and you don't know.
I can tell you, I know exactly what teachers go through. I know exactly what teachers go through. I can vouch for what teachers go through, but I can also, yes, it's not easy to run a classroom. It is not easy to keep a classroom under control. It's an easy if you love doing it. It's a little easier to keep the children in line and under control if you love being a teacher, and because when you love being a teacher, you love putting the work together. You love passing it out. You love making it fun. You love the kids. You treat them all with respect and decency and kindness. um, you you stay in front and up front and foremost, waiting for, you know, if someone is willing to if someone is willing to offer up, any type of Christmas help or Thanksgiving help for families, you always know that child that's going to need it, so you're there, um, up front trying to grab it for them and step in to get it for your classroom, for the kids,
Um,
your
hey, PG,
classroom. Yeah.
you're crashing.
Um,
No, not any better.
you might have to go out and come back in. I'll put you another link out.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, they when you're a teacher, it is a super hard job. No doubt in my mind, it is it's a super hard job. and it's even harder if you don't love it and you don't. If you're there for the money and the all summer vacation, holidays off, weekends off. If you're there for that, um, still crackling a little. Oh, you don't have to show me. Hey, you're still crackling up a little bit. Huh. Maybe it's the location she's setting in. I lost Wisconsin Mama. Yeah, anyway, absolutely. It is like cops, Priscilla Wells. Absolutely. You've got your beautiful officers that are very understanding. They really are there to help people and do the job that's supposed to be done. And there's ones there that, they got the job because they love to bully people and they want the power. They're there for the power, not the for the right reasons, right? And that happens within the school system as well. Absolutely. It does. And and it's just sad because every child should be cared about. Every child should be considered. No child should be treated like differently than any other child. And if you're a teacher, you should always have time for the children that need it most. You know, absolutely. It's hard to find good teachers in older grades because in older grades, it seems like all the teachers are m- like mean, right? They seem like they're all on defense, always got like always attitude up, and I think that's because they feel like they have to be in order to keep those older kids in line. Older kids. I've actually seen I've actually seen um high school high school kids, especially the boys, whoop the crap out of the teachers and the principal. They fight them, and I don't think they're there to fight. Okay, Wisconsin Mama, I'm bringing you up.
Oh, good Lord. You sounded like an alien there for a while. I'm like, what the heck? I know what you're going to talk like when you're about 99 years old. Yeah, I had stupid phones. Oh, crap.
We got a taste of what we're going to be like when we go up in the spaceships.
Yeah, yep. Probably more peaceful up there.
Eh, Differently, a whole new language.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, crap. Uh, you know what I don't understand? I just hear it is again. Where's Candace?
Hi, everyone from Ontario, Canada. Yeah, we got somebody from Canada in here. Well, hello to you. Welcome to the family.
Somebody said that Candace was on Ernie's channel today.
Um,
Let's see here. Hmm. I don't know. Sorry. Huh. Where did I read that? Oh, okay. Angel said that she was in Ernie's Facebook chat today.
Oh yeah, Candace is definitely making her rounds. Absolutely.
Mm, yeah, she thinks she's like this little spy, but she's no good at spying on people. She's good at lying. She's really good at lying. Yeah.
Oh goodness. Best having a somebody needs to give him his pacifier, right?
Oh yeah. Did
Having a
you?
meltdown in the back chat. Jeez.
Yeah. And then I kind of said, "Oh, you you get what you deserved." You know,
Yeah,
you went over there
absolutely.
and opened your mouth about PG. What'd you think was gonna happen? You know.
Exactly.
So yeah.
I just can't, I mean, if Donald indeed did what he did and, um to those ladies and back then and it did, they did feel violated by this young man back then. Um I absolutely think that it should have been addressed. Um it should have been addressed early on. I don't think a lot's going to happen. I mean, I do not think he's going to get time in jail or anything for that due to the fact the statute of limitation has ran out many times. And if it wasn't for Summer coming up missing, it probably would have not have ever been brought to light. They would have still been, not caring and doing anything at all about it. Um, it did come about because of this case and this case being so huge. Um, so I don't know exactly what will be done. Like I said, I see a civil suit possible trying to financially gain off of, you know, what is taking place. And,
Right.
and still, how is that helping Summer? How did any of that help Summer? It didn't.
It didn't.
Absolutely not at all.
And the
You
focus
know,
stays
they
away from
just gave
Summer.
they just gave Donald something to keep the focus off of Summer
Yeah.
when Summer needed it the most,
Yep.
and when her case needed it the most and could have been solved early on, and it wasn't. So um, I don't know. It's hard to, it was really hard to watch Chris M tonight. I can't say I really tuned in because um, I didn't. I didn't. I mean, I seen it. Um,
I did not watch the whole thing. I only watched a little bit of
you
it.
know, I here's I seen, I did tune in, but I had to tune right back out because it hurts me too much to see what took the focus off of Summer when she needed it most. And I'm for Summer. I'm about Summer.
Going
Summer's
to
the
bed?
victim, and I just couldn't handle it. So I had to give it up because,
Oh,
um it was too bothersome for me. It just
yeah.
reminds me of why she wasn't found and her case hasn't already been solved, and that, that's just too painful to deal with. Um so I'd rather, I'm not going to be covering that side of the case at all. Um Regardless to what happens, I'm not going to cover that side of the case at all because I do not feel that it has any bearings upon what we're covering ourselves, and that is Summer Moon Utah Wells, a missing, you know, a lot of people want to say 5-year-old to me, um, beautiful child. And she is the victim. She's the one that should have always been stuck you in the spotlight. Nothing else should have ever took the spotlight off of her or her case, and she should have been found. We should have known what happened, and we should have already got justice for what happened. And I feel that just these kind of things right here fucked it all up, and I can't deal with that. I can't.
No, no, that's why I'm gonna be totally honest with you. You know how much I love watching you, and I'm thankful that you let me up on panel every night. And but tonight the subject was I just about laughed because it didn't have anything to do with summer, and for a lot of women, it brought up bad memories. So I
Right,
mean, for me, I was gonna leave because I just wasn't gonna deal with. I just didn't want to be here,
right. And
when you were talking about it,
I
but
know
it's
that a
your
lot of
channel,
right. I know that a lot of people yesterday was asking about it. I seen it. I seen it. Um, I seen Chris M tonight, and
Yeah,
like I said, I do. I come here, and I do for my chat.
yeah,
Um, and I touched on it because I know that the chat was going to be possibly interested in it.
yep,
And but did I want to actually speak upon it or talk about it? No, I didn't.
right,
I
right,
didn't, but I did want to get it out of the way.
yeah,
I did want to get it out of the way and over with. So I guess I don't have to touch on it again, right?
right, right, and and I was totally honest with you, that I I wasn't gonna stay because whatever, but
Right.
it and but it's your and it's your channel, and you're correct, the chat would have been asking about it.
They did. Yeah. I seen people asking off and on about
Yeah.
him getting his rights read in jail and one thing and another. And then I knew after Krista's thing tonight, it definitely was going to be brought up. And I just, it's one of those boxes I just want to kick out of the fucking way. And
Well, I don't
let's
understand why
get
he's
back this
so
summer.
why he himself needs to focus on summer. You know,
I wish, I wish, because
you
that's what
know.
this case is really about. It's not about anything else but her. And I wish
Right.
people would focus on her. I wish everybody could just get back to focusing on her and the real issues here. And that's we need to find her. We need to get her home. We need to get justice for her. We really need to just, you know, dive into, we just got to dive into Candace Wells and Donald Wells. We got to put the focus on them for once. As hard as people think it to be, we need to do it. And and we need to utilize everyone around it. We need to utilize um um we need to utilize the people like Jose. We need to utilize the people like Allie. We need to utilize, Mr. Dobbs. We need to utilize these other people and finding out exactly how 110 Ben Hill Road really was. We need truth, damn it. We need to know what kind of life these children really, really, really was living up there. Not a
Right.
bunch of bullshit, but the truth on it.
Well, what I
We
can Oh, sorry.
we just need to know, we need to really know how violent Candace is. And I being on the inside there for a while, I can tell you pretty damn violent. Do I believe she could do something that wicked and evil? Yes, absolutely. I honest to God do. And I think Donald Wells is just as capable as Candace Wells, to be
Oh
honest
yeah,
with you.
I agree with you, but I don't understand that those boys have been gone for 9 months. One of those boys, and I know that CPS has to have some kind of, you know, I know they're probably talking to the boys and asking them all kinds of questions, but if there was something there, you would think that CPS would have nailed Candace by now, don't you think? I mean, if there was some kind of abuse, y-
Right.
eh, you know,
Absolutely.
and I mean, these are, I understand that the oldest one probably wouldn't talk, but the other two, they're young enough that, where they could say, this and this and this is what happened. But in 9 months, nothing's happened to her. I mean, what is CPS waiting for? You know, is there maybe there? I hate to say it, but is there nothing there?
Um, I think I think that CPS is broken. I think CPS ain't the ones that Child Protective Services do not prosecute. The court system does.
Right, right.
And
They have to
and
turn that
and
in.
absolutely, absolutely those children, those absolutely they was in harm's way. I mean, the house was deemed unlivable, dangerous, right? Um,
Right.
it was too dangerous for the children to be, um, you know, living in that habitat. And so, absolutely, and how disgusting was it? I mean, there is every sign of freaking neglect. There's every sign of abuse. There's every sign of, um, the children being put in harm's way, more ways than one. Electrical cords hanging everywhere, the filth, the disgustingness, um the lack of food, the lack of health care, the lack of dental care, the lack of every damn thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they were lacking on everything, and it seems like the only ones, the parents could afford a $600 a month of car payment for a new vehicle, but they couldn't afford proper groceries in the refrigerator and pantries to feed the children up. They couldn't afford, you know, decent clothes for the children to wear. Candace and Donald had all of this money coming in. They buy sunglasses, phones, and all kinds of dumb shit and paying off their vehicles and doing all these things with that money instead of putting it towards getting their daughter back or lawyers to get their son. um, they're still using. They should not have been allowed. Donald and Candace Wells should not have been allowed to get a court appointed attorney in any way, form, or how, due to the simple fact they had too much income coming in to, you know, what I'm saying is our system is so fucking broken. Our system is all broken. They should not have ever been allowed to use a court appointed attorney for anything. It should have been get an attorney or you're fucked, right?
Oh yeah, I mean definitely. I mean personally, if my daughter ended up missing and I mean and I was acting like Candace, I think I would have at least two brain cells to say, I think I need a attorney. You know,
Right.
my kids have been taken away from me. My daughter is missing. People are accusing me. Maybe I should just shut up and go get an
And I
attorney.
right, and I wouldn't want a court appointed attorney because who the fuck does a court
Shit,
appointed
no.
attorney work for? The court, right?
The court.
They're not working for you anyway. How dumb is that?
Yeah.
How
So,
dumb is it to get an attorney that's already working for the people that you need somebody to work against?
right.
That's just, I mean, that's
Hmm.
it. Anybody that gets a court appointed attorney has dog shit for brains anyway, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you're not smart because you don't understand they're not working for you to begin with. Oh, they're free. Okay, take that free. Free always isn't good, you
No.
know? Free
No.
isn't always good.
Free
Sometimes
it
it's stupid.
free
Sometimes,
is take the plea deal. I'm just saying.
right,
That's what they always say. Take the plea
right.
deal. Because I don't have the funds and the state doesn't have the funds to defend you. So take the plea deal.
You know why things are free? Because nobody else fucking wants them.
Right.
If a person could sell it, it wouldn't be free.
Yeah. Yeah. But there is a there and even so if CPS had something on them and so it gets sent over to what is it, the district attorney to prosecute. then they got a shitty ass district attorney if he's not doing nothing about it. But for some reason, law enforcement is sitting back on this case. They're not sitting back, they're tapping their toes. They're
Right.
waiting. They're waiting. And
Absolutely.
and when that chance is it's coming.
It
It's
is
coming.
fast.
Yeah. Yep.
Fast now.
Yep.
What did I think about Mary talking about the rocks that Don and Candace Wells set up for Summer, um, the little monument type thing. Um, to be honest with you, that did not surprise me at all. I mean, that didn't shock anybody, right? I mean, Donald Dunn said, "Well, so you're in the resurrection,"
Yeah.
and
Who the hell says that about their
and
daughter?
Candace Dunn. What did Candace tell us? I'm getting my boys back in Summer. She's going to always be in my heart. I don't care what anybody says. Well, there you go. I mean, they both done told you. And Donald, like, I'm not sure that God's going to let Summer in heaven. Um,
What?
you nutball. What are you talking? She's a child.
Well, we
I
sure the
mean,
hell know that God
you
ain't
know,
letting him in
he
heaven.
felt that he felt, in my opinion, that Candace didn't let Summer live long enough to really understand what God's about, to get saved and baptized and get to the right place. But what he failed to realize is she was a child, and she's going to heaven straight away anyway. That's just where children go, and
Yeah. And he will not be
I
seeing
truly
her in the
believe that.
resurrection. He will
Um,
not be seeing her. No.
I had a friend in school. We went to school together. Um, I really liked this kid. It was a child that I really did like, and anyway, we went to school, grade school, for many years, and first grade, second grade, you know, and then over the summer we went home, and when we came back to school, well, he lived in my area, so I knew that he had gotten drowned it over the summer. I knew what had happened to him, and he died over the summer.
Oh
And the
no.
following year, just be in school and not hear him, because he was like a ball of life. I mean, truly missed. If you don't know what I
Mm,
mean, he was just that imaginary kid that just made, a light wherever he went, a strong presence.
right.
And so it was very hard, to deal with that loss. And but I did have a dream, and about him, and I seen these doors open, and he came. Well, actually, a puppy ran in, but this puppy, when the door shut, I looked, and it was him standing there, and he was walking towards me, and I knew he wasn't no longer with us. So in the dream, I was afraid, and he kept walking towards me, and telling me he was not dead. He wasn't dead. And because that's what I was thinking, is if he could read my mind, and or maybe I was saying it out loud to him. I can't remember. I was a child when I had this dream, but he was telling me he wasn't. And anyway, I woke up, as all children do, freaking out. Flew out of my bed. It was about the time my dad was getting ready to go to work, and it was very early in the morning, and he wanted to know what I was doing up, and I explained to him what had happened, and he said that the child wasn't, that was God, and the boy letting me know that he's not. He's in a much better place, and he's going to be living forever. So,
Wow.
absolutely,
Wow.
you know.
Yeah. I've had 3 people come to me. I actually stood in the middle of the bedroom talking to my niece. She was standing in front of me, and it
You
was
were awake.
yeah. Well, yeah, I was awake, and I was standing there, and she had on a long white dress, and her hair was long. She was beautiful. And next thing all I remember was my husband grabbing me by the shoulders, and he's like, "Who are you talking to?" Yeah, yeah. And she had passed away just a few days before that, and she was 12. So yeah, it's
Wow. And how did she pass away? I'm sorry.
she had Batten's disease. It's a
Oh,
very uncommon. It's not a very well known disease to people. But yeah, yeah. She she. This is the funny thing, and so my grandpa used to take care of a cemetery for years.
right.
I mean, like 50 years, he took care of that cemetery. And and my niece was laying on the couch, and she looked at her mom and she said, "He's here to come and get me." And she said, "Who's here to come and get you?" And she said, "The man that took care of the cemetery. He said you guys need to fix the gate on this on the you need to fix the gate going into the cemetery." That man. Well, she never met my grandpa.
Wow.
So no, so this is here's something really wow. So her mom took a picture of her, and I am not kidding you, Prayer Garden. In the picture, it looks just like my grandpa's hand and arm are wrapped around her waist. You can see his hand.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she talked about him a lot, and she didn't know anything about him. Yeah, yeah. So it was really touching. It was really good. It was
Right.
really, really good. So yeah, she was 12, and then I lost another one, and she was 14, um, a couple years ago. Um, she she had fallen off a cliff.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, we think she went up to take pictures, and um, you know how like I don't know, you get the head spins or whatever, when you're
Right.
up really high,
Yeah.
and that's what they think happened, and she fell. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
goodness.
uh, yeah, that was a tough one too. But yeah. So I believe that they come to you, and they just to show you that they're okay. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're fine and they've moved on and they'll they'll be back with you at some point. And that's what I tell people, when you lose your loved ones like that, you shouldn't look at it as a loss, but an initiative to be good in this life so you can be with them again forever, right?
Yep.
I'm it gives you a purpose to straighten your life up and start living right so you can be with those people again, in heaven.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially children.
Right.
If you've lost children, you definitely know that they're there waiting on you. And, that's why I
Oh.
say that, a lot of these young girls, they um have abortions and they want to talk about it. I've heard lots of young girls, and I am a pretty good listener
Mm-hmm.
um with people. And I listen to them, talk about it. Some, they did it because they just wasn't ready to have a child and be a mom. Some was forced, by the family to get it done and they wish they hadn't ever got it done. Just different reasons why. these young girls do things. Um, you know, some just couldn't stand. They felt to look at the child because the dad walked off the minute he heard they was. He wasn't ready and he ran off. And
Mhm.
they felt, so alone and so used. It's just different reasons why these young girls do what they do. And
Right.
but they tell you, the one thing I noticed they always tell PG is, you know, I wonder how old it would been. I wonder what day it would have been born. They always know pretty much how old it would have been at the time they're talking to you.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
and they say, I wonder if it had looked like me or its dad. Just all of these things.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, why do you not ever wonder what God named it? Because you didn't.
Right. Right.
Why do you not ever wonder that? Because when you get to heaven, you want to see it again, right?
Yeah.
And that's a really sad thing because,
Yeah. I
I think I'd want to know my child's name, if it's up there.
yeah.
It's something you'd want to know. What did God name it?
Well, and I mean, like for me, I always think that when a woman gets pregnant, I mean, I just feel like it's a miracle. It's a gift from God. You know, I know that there's a lot of circumstances that why the women don't want the child, but the
I do
child,
not support abortion in
but the
any
child
form or
is a
foul.
right, but the child is a gift.
Absolutely.
All our
Absolutely.
children are gifts from God for us to
The Bible
raise.
says that, God opens the womb. He blesses a woman, opens her womb so she can conceive and have a child.
Right.
And he gives you that child. When God gives you that child, he made you an angel to watch over it and to take care of it,
Exactly.
to be good to it. He put that child in your hands and he entrusted you to do the right thing in
Yeah.
raising that child. And you should not ever, ever um fail God in what he entrusts you with. You
Right.
know, you should always work hard to please God and do what and do what's right by for yourself, your family, and especially your children, because
Right.
and the older people. The older people. So many people say, oh, I can't take care of my mother because I work. I can't do this and that because of this and that. I mean, um,
Well.
you know, well, tell that to God when you get there.
Right.
You know, I let my mom be abused in a nursing home, or, you know, I was too busy living my life, God, to help anybody else with theirs. Even my kids, I didn't even have time for them. Tell God that because, you know, God gave us all jobs, right? And
Well.
and the, and
Yes.
the one He gave children, she's the husband's helpmate. She was supposed to bear kids and and keep the home and the children, and she's got a job to do, and that man had a job to do too, and he was supposed to work the field. He was supposed to be the one bringing in the bacon so she could fry it up in a pan. And
Yeah.
that's the way life still should be today. I mean, I know that, you know and the world's turned to evil because these women, women today, they have to they have to get educated. I'm not going to lie. I want my daughter as educated as my daughter can get. I want my daughter to be able to get a super good job. I want my daughter to be able to afford everything she needs on her own so she don't have to rely on a man. I don't want her to have to ask a man for nothing, because a lot of men, if they're the sole supporter, provider, they they will lord it over the woman. I
Yeah.
mean, they will
Oh
make
yeah.
her life and the children's lives miserable. She feels like she can't buy things without asking him, for herself or the children. It's not a damn good life. No, it's
No.
not.
Nope.
Absolutely not. I think a woman should, you know, I think she does need her independence in today's world because it's just the way it is. It's the way it is, and she needs that work behind her because this man might meet a younger woman or so and divorce you, and what do you got? You have no work history. You have nothing. I mean, you can't start over at that age, right? You just can't trust your better halves anymore. I
No.
mean, yeah,
No.
they take a vow, better for worse, sickness due to health, all this bullshit, right?
Yeah.
But when they do, they figure if it don't work out, they can just get rid of you, right? And that's bullshit. That's
Yeah.
bullshit. It happens every day to a lot of beautiful women and a lot of good men. A lot of women do the
Yep.
same thing to men. I
Oh yeah.
mean,
Oh, definitely.
you think you know someone, you get with someone and you're with them 20 years, you think you know them. You fucking don't. You
Yeah.
don't. They could walk in 20 years and say, "I'm just tired of this shit. I'm out."
Yep.
And you are sitting there like, "What the hell just happened?" Your youth is gone on this person. Um, your savings is gone because they probably done wiped it out. And you're ready to go to court and everything else. And I mean, they just set you up to destroy you
Yeah.
all in a matter of minutes. And what seemed like a minute anyway, right?
Yeah.
You didn't see that shit coming.
Nope.
But
Hey.
you
Yeah.
learn a valuable lesson. Don't trust nobody.
Mm,
Don't trust nobody. I mean, a marriage is supposed to be a we thing, not a me thing, right?
yeah.
But you better be a me thing and putting some damn money back because you can't trust people. I mean, as much as you would love to trust what you call your soulmate, you better be a little wiser than that. And you know,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is grandma, grandma and great grandma and even, our moms didn't keep that sugar bowl full of cash for no reason, right?
Exactly. My grandma always had money. I mean,
Absolutely.
she did. She always had hidden all over the house that
They
my grandpa didn't
exactly.
know.
I mean, um, you know, you see you see you see your older people pulling out a baby sock. You don't even know where the hell that baby sock came from. Probably was belonged to one of their first children, and
Yep.
they've got money down in it.
Yep.
You know, you've got to make sure that it's called rainy day, and
Yep.
that rainy day could come. So
Right.
know,
You know,
absolutely.
because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
You
I
know?
mean, you do have some men that work. You stay home, take care of the kids, run the house, and he will work every day because he loves you and he does, and you know, even years and years later, you see him in the park sitting on a bench and he helps her, gets up and helps her up, and they stroll off hand in hand, right? And it's the most beautiful thing you ever seen. And he loves her just as much then as he loved her the day he married her. And that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's not everybody's life. That's their life. And
Right.
they are just the lucky ones to have it. That's the
Yeah.
thing. It's the
Yeah.
life everybody wants, but everybody does not have. So, it's women need to be smart. Men need to
Yep.
be smart,
Yeah. Yep.
Humans need to be smart. There's nothing wrong with not putting everything on the table when,
No.
when you might need some of that in the future, right?
Totally agree. Hey, guess what?
What?
You have a new member.
Oh, yeah, I seen it go past me. I said I'm going to get that, and it was gone. Now let me
Yeah.
run back. Absolutely. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Melanie. Became a YouTube member. Yes. God bless you. Thank you very much.
That's pretty awesome.
Yes. Yes. Always great to see you. We got us a new family member that's lit up in green. Yes. Which
Yeah.
everybody's our family.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's our family over here. Absolutely.
We we should do like one of these nights. We should do just like a celebration of life or something for summer. Just nothing, you know. Don't don't talk about Don, not Candace. Just
Right.
all about summer. You know,
Yeah.
like what could
What
we
she
do? You
what she
know,
loved, what she
yeah,
liked, what she cared about, you know?
yeah. And
Um,
what we could do to get her name out there more. You know, I know,
absolutely.
you know, YouTube has done it. You know, I have to admit they have done it, but like you said earlier, they're losing it. They're not
Right.
talking about her anymore. You
Right.
know, so maybe
Yeah.
we could find out ways to get her name out there more. You know, than
Right.
than just on YouTube.
And like, it helps to put, it helps like on my Facebook, I post pictures of summer there. If you just post pictures on your Facebook, people will start, oh, who's this, and that reaches a lot of people
Yeah.
because some people have 3 or 4 thousand friends. My particular Facebook I just made doesn't. I've been getting quite a few people on there now, but I mean, I just barely made it, and it's new, and it's you know busy as I stay with I got a job through the day to pay my bills, and then I've got content to put together when I find time, and a lot of research I do, and then I run this. Like last night, I was here
Oh.
for like over 6 hours, I believe.
Oh yeah. We were
Um,
yeah, a long time last night.
yeah, I really burn my oil. That's for sure.
Right.
I really burn the oil up bad, and I don't get to Facebook a whole lot.
Yeah.
Um, if I get a notification, I run over there to see what's going on. But other than that, PG, don't get to Facebook a lot, but I've been trying to get there a little more and post pictures and post a few things, hoping that, we can reach out to more people. And, but as I said, I am, and for the Facebooks, everybody is more than welcome to use any of the photos that we put up over here. This is our chat, not PG's YouTube, but all of our YouTube. And when I post up the beautiful pictures of summer and stuff, you are more than welcome to, screenshot them or whatever, and please put them on your Facebook. Let people know she's missing. Art, there's nothing like art that draws people into um, getting involved. So, absolutely, snatch up the pictures, start using them on your Facebooks, and to help out. I think that would be an awesome idea. What do you think, Wisconsin Mama?
Oh, I think that would be a great idea. You know, I'm telling I'm telling I'm in the private chat right now. And
Yeah, I seen it sneak up and put something there. I was
I
afraid to
just
look,
I just gave him a big F you.
and I don't blame you.
No, just stupid. But yeah, I think that's a good idea. If we, I mean, like, it's your channel, but to do one night of summer, you know, a summer night or
Absolutely,
something.
absolutely. I so agree with you.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, let's work
maybe,
let's work on doing that maybe Monday.
yeah,
Yeah, because I take tomorrow off, and I take
oh,
Sundays
that's
off.
right. That's right.
Oh, I might be in tomorrow night though. Um, I may be in tomorrow night. Told my daughter I may have to record when calls to heart, or maybe I can get in earlier. Um, if but m-
Yeah.
Allie said that she may come up tomorrow
Oh,
and
okay.
tomorrow evening and straighten out some things upon what's being said about her. And it's not going to be good. I'm sure that it's going to go awry about what the neighbors did to her and everything. So if she still wants to come in tomorrow night, you know it's be here, be square, right?
Right.
It's
Right.
going to be a blowout for sure.
Well, I'll tell you
Um,
what. Why don't I email you tomorrow? It will be I work again tomorrow. I'll
Girl, I am
email.
so sorry for you, but so happy
Uh,
for PG.
yeah, I know, right? 10 days in a row I work, and then I get 4 days off, and but I work a lot of 10-hour days too, so
Oh yeah,
I'm
I
wiped. But anyways, I'll email you tomorrow, and then we'll just plan on a date, and then I can throw some stuff in there too if you want.
yeah, I
Um,
would. If you can come up with any ideals, I so appreciate it.
yeah, yeah,
I absolutely appreciate it. Yes,
yeah.
God bless you. I
Okay.
can PG can use all the help I can get.
Oh, I
Oh,
could
I
use
wanted
all
to
the
show
help.
you. Did you want to see the picture I made for Summer
Yeah.
tonight?
Oh, that
Ain't that
is
beautiful?
they. They are. This is beautiful. Just
Yeah.
beautiful.
I want everybody to know that she's in the hands of
Yeah.
the higher ups. I don't know who Candace's higher ups, but this is our higher ups, right?
Right.
And she's in the hands. She, Summer is in the hands of the most higher up,
Yeah.
and you're watching over her, and that's what I want to let people know. She is in the best hands she could ever be in.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, you know, God
Yeah.
bless
That.
on that. And I had another question tonight. Is this the picture that no thanks was supposed to be auctioning off? That
Yeah. That was the
eh,
one from supposedly Ireland. That's what
right.
he said. He said the picture was from Ireland. An artist had sent it to him.
Yeah, but I think he's been going to auction that off for like 4 months. When is it actually going to happen?
Oh, he said yesterday. Was it? No, not yesterday. What's today? What's today? Today is Saturday.
Yeah,
He said it on Thursday. He was gonna auction it off, but
right.
he didn't put out a date yet.
Because I was sure I heard it before. I don't know, like a few months ago. So I was questioning
Oh,
upon that. Look what I got.
what'd you get?
There's Jose dumping his phone. Now we know why he dumped it. Look on it. Bad memories.
Nightmares.
Yeah. What is
Nightmares on 110 Ben Hill Road.
what is Candace up to these days?
What the
she's ge- she's getting ready for prison, right?
Oh,
Hey,
oh.
hey, Candace. Wonder who's gonna be the one to arrest you. Chris him, he's got the handcuffs trying to sneak up on her, right?
Oh, he does. Got that disco party going. That is funny. That is funny shit right there, I'll tell you.
Hey, hey, Donald, what happened to you when they read your Miranda rights?
Oh,
Esther,
God.
Esther. he, wa- he was hollering Esther. He didn't even know who she is.
Oh my gosh, I'm dying here. Oh,
that that's what Donald's private jail cell looks like, just like home.
yeah, just like home. Oh, he's like, they read him his rights, and he goes, I never did any of that. And they're like, Don, we have it on recording. You admitted it. I mean, could you get any dumber than that?
That was funny, wasn't
Oh my
it?
goodness, was it ever? It was hilarious. Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Oh,
I thought I'd bring a little laughter to everybody tonight.
oh, I
you know,
tell you, I needed it.
this case gets too stressful. It gets
Oh,
really stressful, but there's a way of lightening things up sometimes. Yes,
yep, yep. And and I'm so glad you do that.
cousin Ronnie doesn't look too concerned.
That's just so funny. That is just hilarious. Oh, God. I know. I know, and I know some nights are really serious, but then it's like I'm waiting for it, I'm waiting for that picture. Is she gonna put one up tonight?
Yeah, last night I didn't bring any in because
Oh,
I did well last night I didn't plan on staying too long. I had so little sleep and
yeah,
um
yeah.
and so
Well,
forth.
you get zombified, you
Oh,
know.
I
Oh
do.
my goodness, like,
I do. Some days I wonder how, if I didn't have God Almighty, I don't know how I would make it. Absolutely.
yeah, you're driving to work. It's like, Jesus, take the wheel because I'm gonna fall
Amen.
asleep.
Absolutely. You just want to
Yeah,
pull over and crawl into the back seat.
yeah,
Oh, girl, I know the feeling.
yeah,
I do.
definitely. So, oh, white
Like
widow baby.
one of my kids is nodding off. I wake up. I gotta stay awake. So do you.
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly. White Widow Baby is asking, can you make a slideshow for all your funny pics so we could have a comedy night?
yeah, you know what? I think I could put that into a slideshow at some point.
Oh,
Absolutely,
that would be hilarious.
absolutely. I'm going to work tomorrow on. I'm going to work tomorrow on mainly just summer photos and stuff to share
Yeah,
for her night Monday. Absolutely.
yeah,
I
and
That's what I'll be doing.
it just, so I don't know. I know there's a time difference between us, but just I know I won't get to my email until 5 o'clock tomorrow night, my time. Um,
Okay.
and then I'll send you what I have, and I'll send you um what I wrote. So and if you think it's good to go, then go ahead and use it.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Uh,
and
I can use all the help I can get in all of this,
yeah.
and I'm sure you have some amazing ideals. I just want to put that out there.
Oh, well,
You
thank
have
you.
amazing ideals. I mean, like when we wanted to get a fund up for the boys, that was amazing,
Oh,
and
I
I
know,
wish
and
we could
I
have,
tried so hard. I tried so hard,
Oh,
and
I know, and and that's the shame of today's world, is there's too many fucking blocks and not enough leadway, right?
right, right,
And all them roadblocks are all blocking the good shit and none of the evil shit. That's
yeah,
the problem. All the evil shit is wide open, right? But
yeah.
all the good things are roadblocked up, and we need to do something about that as well.
Yeah, but PG, if it wasn't, if actually, if it wasn't for me stumbling across your channel, you know, because that's what I did. I just stumbled across your channel, and I watched you one time, and I liked you from there on, and
You
um,
didn't stumble. God gave you a
well,
push.
he said, okay, he pushed me over. And I was like, don't shove me so hard.
And that's what the Lord does.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, He's
you
pushed
know.
me a few times.
Well, I think we all need it once in a while, you know.
I'd be
So
screaming, overboard.
you could have did that by the water.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, that's funny. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Who emptied
yeah.
the pool?
I know, right? Oh, that's just
Absolutely.
amazing. It's just amazing. I mean, it's wonderful to be here, and it's wonderful to be on a channel that you're accepted in, and I just love it, and I love you, and I love everybody in the chat.
Oh,
So
thank you. And I
I'm
absolutely loved you all
very
too.
comfortable here. So
Yeah.
but on that
That's what I
note,
was telling Des last night. He lost a good family, didn't he? We are
yeah, he
definitely
did.
family here.
Yeah,
And
he
you know
did.
how hard I fought to get everyone to like him, to care about him. And um I felt so bad for him last night. I really did feel bad for him. I'm not going to lie.
Well,
I really wanted to forgive, but I knew, I couldn't because I know he has not changed. I know he
right.
didn't change, and I cannot aid in a bed. I can't aid in a bed that kind of thing again. I mean, um, I
Well,
put up
you
with
know
a
what?
lot,
Burn me once, burn me twice, right?
right?
But the
Shame,
third,
first
you
time,
don't.
shame on
Yeah,
you. The second time, shame on me.
yeah, exactly.
And
And he's not the only one that's done it to you, you know.
no, he sure
So,
ain't.
you're learning your lesson,
I am. I
you know,
am.
the hard way, but and it's too bad that people are like that. But, um, yeah, when I saw what he did, I just like, I was,
As many times as I have walked through hell, and I can tell you, I walked through hell many, many times. Like I started walking through hell. I think when at birth, it seems like it's been that long, but
yeah,
every time I walk through hell, you know, it's either a new lesson learned or a refresher's course, right?
yeah, yep. Or it's like, I mean, like some days I'm like, please, dear God, just cut me a break here. You know,
Right.
I don't know
Yeah.
how much more you think that I can handle, but God doesn't give you more than what you can't handle.
I'm going
Mm,
to tell you something. When he gives me more than I feel I can handle, it crumbles me to my knees. You'll
I
find
know,
me on my knees,
I
and
know,
talking. And I think sometimes God puts us there because maybe that's where we need to be sometimes, We need to be reminded that, you know, yes, God makes us strong. He makes us super strong, but you know what? Um, you know, we got to remember we're not so strong that we don't still need God all the
right,
time, you know? And I
exactly,
think that's when that load might get it's so heavy that we need to crumble a little bit to realize that how much we do need him and how much he does love us um every day.
yeah,
It makes us much more thankful. So
right,
absolutely.
yeah, I agree with you. Okay, well,
Oh, thank you, D.
yeah, you got a super chat.
Ladies, never let the bullies who preached about not bullying bully you. Love you. God bless. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Okay, Perker, I'm gonna drop down. I gotta go to bed.
all right, sweetheart. Thank you for coming up. God bless
Okay,
you.
all right. Check
If
your email tomorrow night.
I will. And if Allie comes up tomorrow night, I'll see you then, sweetie.
Okay, all right. Love you. Love the
I love you
chat.
too.
Have a good night.
God bless, sweetheart. You too.
Yep.
Good
All
night.
right.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's running out to bed. PG's going to get out of here as well. Um, tonight. I'm going to call it a night so everybody can get some sleep. I'm going to put up Summer's picture here, and anyone that would like to screenshot it and put it on your um, possibly your Facebook, start getting Summer some attention out there, and more people involved in all of this, the better, right? We need to get law enforcement moving. We need to let them know we're not going to let this case die no matter what. We're not letting this case go cold. Absolutely not. Um, we need to keep it alive. We need to keep her name up and out there, and keep the light shining on her, and make sure that something gets done in this case. That's what we're here for. We're here for her, and we can't give up on her now. Absolutely not. Thank you, Common Sense. She says, great A job tonight, PG. I had a blast. Well, God bless you. God bless you. And I thank you all for being here. I really do. Um, as always, I want to thank everyone for coming here and supporting Summer. That's what this YouTube here is about, and that's what it's going to continue to be about until she's found, brought home, and justice is served for her. And I just hope everyone continues to support her, keep strong, and keep supporting her 100%, until we get things done. Absolutely. And I so appreciate everybody that sticks with me till the end of these lives. Um, I absolutely I was keeping the comments down for Summer so everybody could get a opportunity to screenshot and take a picture of the of her picture tonight, hoping that you might share it upon your Facebooks, and hopefully it will draw attention. Everybody seems to love art, and we'd like to get her out there, in the eyes of a lot more people, and their help as well to help stir the pot to get law enforcement moving, right? The more people fighting for her, the better. And she could use all the help she could get, because so much just seems to be trying to put her in the dark and brush over whatever happened, and we cannot allow that to happen, right? There we go. So I'm going to ask everybody, as I ask every night, please, please, please pray for her. Pray for Summer. Keep faith. Keep it going up to God, from our lips to his ears. In the name of his son, Jesus Christ. Absolutely. We're going to keep praying for her. We're going to keep praying that, I know God's pulling it to the light. I know that we're getting answers. I know that something's going to get done pretty soon. Um, you know, at least, PG ain't going to lose hope. We ain't going to lose hope. We cannot lose hope or faith in God bringing this to the light. Don't lose hope. Keep them prayers going up. Keep them going up, and keep them going up strong. Um, God is listening. And, whatever you ask, it says you shall receive, right? So please ask and know that he's going to answer. That's the big thing, is know we're going to get the answer, and don't lose faith on that. It's hard, but we have to do it. We have to do it for Summer, and we just can't. We cannot let our faith get weak in all of this. I know it's been almost 9 months. As of the 15th of this month, it will be 9 months, and but we cannot lose. That's no time. that is really not that much time, considering a case like this. It's not that much time. So we got to be thankful because, you know, God has pulled a lot to the light in 9 months that a lot of times it takes a few years to get where we're at right now on a lot of cases. And we've got that in 9 months. So, you know, thank God for all he's doing for us because he is pulling it out and he is letting it get handled quickly. So that's something to be thankful for. I'm also going to ask that everybody in the chat, please, please, please pray for one another as well. There's Sweet Norway. We haven't seen her in a while. Please pray for her. Um, and pray that we see her soon. I'm a little worried. I sure wish that she'll come be on here soon so I know she's okay. And pray for BDAC. I can't ever remember his initials, but God knows who he is, right? Let's pray for him. And BDAC. I got it right. Finally. Thank you, White Window Baby. And Lori Ann, Tennessee Shine. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of people. Pray for the little girl that was in here tonight. Whether, she really had issues or she didn't, pray for her because she still needs prayer no matter what, I'm sure, right? And so absolutely. Um, you know, keep the prayers going up. Keep them going up and for one another. And if people don't have any issues, pray to God that they don't, because nobody needs any problems, right? We want to get up every day and live the best we can each day, and you know, so pray for one another. Always know PG is praying for you. I absolutely am always praying for you. God bless everybody. I'm going to say good night and much love, much, much, much love to everyone. Candace, I'd like to say something to you tonight before you go to bed too. No summer, no peace, bitch. No summer, no peace. You fucking remember that. I'm gonna be here to let you and remind you every night. No summer, no peace. There you fucking go. And you know what, Candace? I hope you don't have a good night, bitch. There you go. No good night for you. Fuck you.